Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Now, for the benefits of those of you who are not familiar with the channel or watching this channel for the first time, the reason why it is called Uncommon Sense because here on this platform we discuss everyday issues where we try to find logical solutions, but not everyone uses logic. So for that reason, it is called Uncommon Sense. I want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. As always, I want to give a huge shout out to all those that have already subscribed to the channel. Whether you've been a subscriber from the beginning or recently just joined the Uncommon Folk. I really appreciate all the love and support that you're all giving me. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media. And I want to give a huge shout out to all those who allow me to enter into your devices. So, what I'm going to ask you to do is the following. If you have not done so, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe, like, and hit the bell notification to all. So, therefore, whenever I do produce content, you will have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it on the playback. Okay. So, with that being said, uh, before we get into the topic for tonight, let me just give a disclaimer. Okay, this and having this discussion, it's no way, shape, or form I'm trying to put a negative light on those individuals who are transgender men, transgender women, or those who sexual identity is undefined. Okay, the topic is not on those individuals. The topic is going to be on the small minority of this community that insist in imposing their will on everybody else. And we have seen a great deal of this in social media. So that's going to be the discussion, okay? And of course, here on this platform, everyone's allowed to express their opinions as they see fit. And if you disagree, that's perfectly fine. Let us be agreeable when we disagree. Now, before we get into the main topic, we're going to have a section of In My Words. Just give me a moment. Okay. To be perfectly honest, I was hesitant to make my remarks in regards to this topic, but I feel that I must. Okay. Now, I grant you, there are certain YouTube creators that, that appear to be more controversial than others. And every YouTube creator has their haters, okay? For whatever reason, whether it be because of their content, whether it be because uh, who they are, whether it be because of the people that they choose to associate with. And good evening, Keisha. Thank you very much for stopping by. Okay. Yes, I will express myself as I see fit. Okay. And the fact of the matter is, if people don't like it, you know what? They don't have to consume my content. Okay. So, as I was saying before, you know, people have haters. But when they use their platform to try to discourage other people by associating with a certain YouTube creator and then making false accusation of being racist, um, That's a big problem with me, and it should be a big problem with anybody else. Okay, okay. And I'm referring to the Owl Show. He recently, in his community tab, indicated that Golden Goddess has been exiled and removed from mixed races due to appearing on monoracial races and attacking content creators and panelists. With all due respect, Al, everyone has a different version of the story. Okay. Now, no one can claim that Golden God is a saint. Okay. However, you do not have the authority nor the right to exile anyone anywhere. Okay. No YouTube creator has that authority. Okay. Now, if they're YouTube creators that I do not like, I agree. But you know, what's the solution? I do not deal with their content and they're not allowed on my platform. Now the biggest shocker is the accusations that Golden Goddess is racist. Okay? Just for your own personal edification, Golden Goddess have had just about everybody on her platform. Okay, she have had her haters on her platform. She had supporters on her platform. She had virtually a little bit of everybody on her platform. Okay, and the fact of the matter is this, Al. If you are so concerned regarding her content, her behavior, why you did not approach her in private and have a private discussion regarding it? Okay, that's what mature, responsible people do. Okay, yeah, that's right. You said that's right, Keisha. She's not racist in the like. Okay, so if you're going to produce your accusations, either produce the evidence or shut the hell up. Okay? And thus, for your own personal edification, no one is compelling me to say this. I am doing this of my own free will and accord. Okay? Yes. So if you do not like Gigi's content, then guess what? Do not partake in her content. Just leave her be, and you can go on your stream and do your boring streams that get maybe 20 or 30 views at a time before you put them in private. Okay. And I apologize for going there. I usually do not go there, but the fact of the matter is this. I am not going to have anyone that's going to be making false claims on anyone on this platform. So as effective immediately, the Owl Show has been banned from Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron and any other types of platforms I may create. Okay. So that being said, and I apologize for diverting, but it does that. This is something I needed to say and I get off my chest. So now we're going to get into the meeting. So as I stated before, the topic is have the transgendered gone too far? Yes. Golden Goddess is a queen. Okay. And you know what? And if people have an issue with me supporting her, bye. That's all I gotta say. Bye. Goodbye. Don't let the door hit you with the good Lord split you. That's all I'm going to say about it. Now, going into the topic, the reason why I decided to get into this topic, because there's been a great deal of chatter on TikTok and social media regarding transgender men and transgender women. Okay, let me make this, and again, I want to make this perfectly clear. Okay, how you wish to live your life, that's totally up to you. If you wish to have surgery to alter your anatomy to go from one sex to another sex, or if you wish to have your sexual identity undefined, that is perfectly fine. Okay. That is your right. But your right ends when you try to enforce your views, your beliefs on other people. And recently, there was this one transgender female on TikTok, no less, actually challenged anyone and made a threat to anyone that tried to prevent this individual from going to the ladies' room. Now, if you have fully transitioned to a female, I have no problem with you using the ladies' room. Okay. If you have not transgender completely, you need to go to the bathroom based on your original anatomy, or make sure you go to do your business before you leave home. That's my opinion. People don't like it. Well, I'm sorry. That's my belief. So, but before we get into, um, I think it would do us well. Yes, people, let's get those likes up, please. Thank you very much. So, just give me a moment. So what I'm gonna do is uh, just gonna share with you. Just give me a moment. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share an article um, to better explain who they are, because unfortunately, there is a great deal of misconception in regards to this segment of society. Okay, so this is an article that I came across from the HRC Foundation. Okay, I'm not saying it's acceptable or not acceptable. I'm just going to share what the article says. Transgender people comes from all walks of life, and the HRC Foundation has estimated that there are more than 2 million of them across the United States. They are parents, siblings, and children. They are your co-workers, neighbors, and your friends. They are children that are 7 years old and 7-year-old grandparents. They are a diverse community representing all racial and ethnic backgrounds as well as all faith traditions. Again, this is just who they are. I am not saying that I agree with them, okay? The word transgender or trans is an umbrella term for people whose gender identity is different from the sex assigned to them at birth. Although the word transgender in our modern definition of it only came into use in the late 20th century, people who were fit under this definition had existed in every culture throughout recorded history. Alongside the increased visibility of trans celebrities like Laverne Cox, Jazz Jennings, or the stars of the Netflix series Posse, 3 out of 10 adults in the US personally know someone who is trans. As trans people become more visible, they aim to increase their understanding of the community to friends, neighbor, and society. Now, what does it mean to be trans? The trans community is incredibly diverse. Some trans people identify as trans men or trans women, when others may describe themselves as non-binary, gender queer, gender non-conforming, gender, bigender, or other identities that reflect their personal experience. Some of them take hormones or have surgery as part of their transition, while others change their pronouns or appearance. Roughly three-quarters of trans youth that respond to an HRC Foundation and University of Connecticut survey identify this with the terms other than strictly boy or girl. This suggests that a large portion of the generation of youth are identifying somewhere on the broad trans spectrum. What challenges do trans people face? While trans people are increasingly visible in both popular culture and daily life, they still face discrimination and systemic inequality. Some of the specific issues facing the trans community are lack of legal protection. Trans people face legal system that often does not protect them from discrimination based on gender identity. Despite a recent U.S. Supreme Court decision that makes it clear that all trans people are legally protected from discrimination in the workplace, there is still no comprehensive federal discrimination law that includes gender identity, which means trans people may still lack recourse if they face discrimination when seeking housing or dining in a restaurant. While all state legislatures or countries are debating and in some cases passing legislation specifically designed to prohibit trans people from accessing public backgrounds that correspond with their gender identity or creating an exemption based on religious beliefs that would be allow them to discriminate against the LGBTQ people. And we have here Gigi. Good evening, Gigi. Thank you very much for stopping by. I hope you forgive my little rant before. It was that you know, some people need to be put in their place. That's all. Trans people live in poverty at elevated rates, and trans people of color, these rates are even higher. About 29% of trans adults live in poverty, about 39% of Black trans adults, 48% of Latinx trans adults, and 35% of Alaskan Native, Asian, Native American, and Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander trans adults. you know what? You know what? Like I said before, um, I guess I guess some people do anything to get noticed. But you know your love here, Gigi. Another issue that they face is stigma, harassment, and discrimination. About half a decade ago, only one quarter of the people in the United States supported trans rights, and support increased to 62% by 2019. Despite this progress, the trans community still faces considerable stigma due to more than a century of being categorized as mentally ill, socially deviant, and sexually predator. While these intolerant views have faded in recent years for lesbian and gay men, trans people are often still ridiculed, and society does not understand them. This stigma plays in a variety of contexts, from lawmakers who leverage anti-trans stigma to score cheap political points to family, friends, or coworkers who reject trans people from learning about trans identity, and people who harass, bully, and commit serious violence against trans people. Okay, and we have a guest. Now I'm gonna ask that the guest please come up, because sometimes get trolls who try to come in here. Okay, so let me just state that the views of those who appear on the panel are not necessarily those of the host of the channel. Any attempt to copy the material is appearing on the call, you waive your rights to your image. Some of the abuse people in my home may be concerned viewers. If you do not like the content, you can block the channel. And now I'm going to bring in my guest.
Good evening. How
Good
you doing?
evening.
I I
How
am
you doing?
representing. I'm doing good. I am representing from the Transformer United Front, and I have to say this. I totally agree with what you're saying because most of these people are getting way out of hand. And I just immigrated to this country, and I just have to say, I am very appalled by what they're saying. No, I'm just joking with you.
Yeah, how you doing, Don Armando?
I'm chilling. How you? I mean, like, at
Okay.
the end of the day,
Uh,
right? I mean, like,
yeah.
at the end of the day, right? I had to bring some type of comedy or whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like in certain things, I could actually say that they are getting out of hand. Like, for example, like what we talked about, like when we was in Philadelphia, it was like you have certain
Yeah.
people, right, that they feel that they're entitled to violence just because they have like a certain protected status. So it's like to the point now that we living in 2023 that I have to go and try to have to explain to the younger guys that if these people try to attack and if you defend yourself, make sure that when you're defending yourself, don't curse at them or anything like that. Because if you do curse at them and you use the wrong word, the wrong word could actually make your charges even go further. And now you're not only you're fighting an assault case, you're going to be fighting a hate crime case.
Yes.
So what I'm trying to say is like if you're gonna if for anybody that feels that they have to defend themselves, I'm just putting it out there that when you do defend yourself, say no words. Say no words, say no words, say no words. The reason why I say that is that after you defend yourself, the only people you should talk to is your cop, is the cops or the lawyer. That's
Mm-hmm.
why if you have a case and everything like that, this is what I'm saying, and I'm putting it out there. 9 times out of 10, they'll try to make a hate crime out of anything. And this is my gripe with these people. Everybody has got a protection for them, right? What happened to the black folks? You know what I'm saying? Like you see everybody making their protection and everything like that because they're being discriminated. But yet, by the time when all these groups want to try to
Okay. Um, I just want to acknowledge that Irby is in the chat. Good evening, Irby. And Gigi, I just, the whole point is that we all know who you are, okay? And the fact of the matter is, as affected immunity, the owl show has been permanently banned from the platform. So you will never have to deal with um, the owl show here on this platform again.
okay, so all right. I'm sorry for that because there was music playing in the background.
Yes.
But one thing that I have to say is that there's a lot of laws that are being passed, and everybody's saying that they're a protected group. But then with all these so-called protected groups, I don't see people who are African American or whatsoever being a protected group because at the end of the day, everybody could talk about their struggles and everything like that. It's no offense to everybody, but I'm just saying, like for people of color, yeah, and the African Americans, they do have a long history within this country. I don't see why that all these other groups is getting all their protections, but yet they want to try to say that we're not going to be protected for whatever reason. And I just wanted to try to say that we have to all stop the hypocrisy because these guys, I'm not saying for all of the people of the trans community, but the ones who want to make it look bad and everything like that, we have to go around and make them accountable. Just because you have certain rights doesn't mean that you could go around and assault people just because you don't like their opinion about your life. Because at the end of the day, you're actually pushing your beliefs on other people that don't want to be anywhere from your belief. So, and I'll take it for example. Let's just say that a person who is Buddhist don't like you or anything like that, or want to infringe on your rights to eat meat. And
Mhm.
9 times out of 10, you want to eat meat because that's what you like. But they're like, oh no, you can't do this, you can't do that. That's like a person trying to boss you around, and but at the same time, you got free will.
Mhm.
That is what I don't understand. And don't go around, and if you have an opinion, if we're having a debate, don't go around and get butt hurt and say, oh yeah, you know what, I'm gonna get a bat. Okay, so what you gonna get a bat for? Just because I don't agree with your lifestyle, or I don't agree with what you're saying. So if I'm talking about a talking point, right? And I'm saying certain stuff which is the truth. I'm not saying anything violent. I'm not saying anything, right? So therefore, when I talk my point, it was like, oh yeah, I gotta get a bat. So you want to get a bat just because I'm revealing that certain people use their status as protected people to go around and inflict harm and blackmail other people into their lifestyle. Now, when I brought that point up, it was like around 2017 or 2018. After that, uh, a guy that was my Facebook friend went up and blocked me. So when he went up and blocked me, because he was a communist, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna see what he's talking about, because he's like he was pure hoaxism or something like that from Emil Hoaxel or something like that, right? So me and him, we used to talk, and he used to talk about how his grandfather and how his whole family grew up in the Pomanoke houses up in Queens, and they were talking about how they first came to the United States, how his family came to the United States, and the Jewish communism and everything. So I went up and I had a discussion with this person, and I was like, well, I don't approve with that, and I think that some of y'all need to be locked up, because if you're gonna go around and trick people without letting them know or giving them the heads up that you were that you was a certain gender, but now you want to act like you're another gender, but at the same time you don't have the right to go and tell the person that you was a gender, and then that person ends up having psychological damage just because you went up and lied to that person. I think you should. I was saying that I think certain people should be locked up. Now, when I said that, I didn't go around and try to say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go around and beat you up" or anything like that. I'm just saying that certain people will have to be held accountable. So when I went up and I said that, oh, Joe was like, "Oh, we're gonna find you, we're gonna beat you up with a bat and everything like that." But I was just actually saying stuff that people within that community do. So am I wrong for going around and saying, if a person decides to lie, and then when that person finds out that, and without him actually having a choice of or say so what he thought that you was, but yet you turned out to be another gender, and people want to go around and try to um ostracize that person just because of the choice that he thought that he was making. That was my argument. So
Okay.
all right, but
Okay.
other than that,
Yeah. Yeah.
all right. I
Now,
remember that. I remember
yeah.
you
Go
were
ahead.
talking about that person that you banned recently. So what happened? Because I just got out in the mood.
Okay. This individual actually made a long, piss poor comment in his community tab. In fact, let me just let me just read to you verbatim. This is to officially state that the YouTuber Golden Goddess is not a part affiliated or a member of any mixed race on YouTube. Gigi was exiled and ejected because she was caught going on monoracial spaces on YouTube and attacking content creators and panelists. In one such encounter, she was intoxicated beyond belief and screaming at people on a sober living channel. First of all, I said this before and I'm going to say it again. Al, you have no authority to exile or excommunicate whomever. Okay? Let me make this clear. You do not have the authority to excommunicate or exile anyone. Okay? And then it goes on to say, this is indefensible and disgraceful behavior as a member of in good standing of biracial spaces. I wholly agree and endorse the decision to remove Golden Goddess from our spaces. Excuse me, Al? Who the hell died and left you commander in chief of biracial spaces? Really? Who the hell gave you that authority? It was not me. It was not anybody except maybe your so-called friends. The reason for this fortunate needs to be stated is contrary to her own post, which she stated she's no longer part of biracial spaces. Reports are that Gigi is still producing mixed race and biracial content and having discussions on such manners on her panel. Excuse me. Since when do you have the authority to police what goes on other people's platforms? Really? Okay. And then it goes on to say there's however no confusion. Golden Goddess is not a member of any biracial space, period.
All
Um,
right. All right. Let me interject with something.
yeah.
First of all, everybody they want to talk about biracial spaces or whatsoever, right? So if you actually look at people who are multi generational, mixed, or whatever have you, right? First of all, excluding Al, we're just talking about other people also.
Hmm.
Just like Al doesn't have the right to go around and dictate who's a biracial or not. Some of these Iberio I- Iberio maniacs should not dictate who's a qualifying Latino or not. So with that said, certain people, if a person did not give birth to you, you shouldn't go around and dictate what their race is or what their culture is. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. And let me state for the record, I consider myself a good friend of Gigi. Okay? I don't police what other people do on their platforms. Exactly, Irby. Okay, exactly. And the insanity goes on. The block list is largely composed of individuals from the so-called sector or Umar Johnson sector. This space has a reputation for racist, anti-biracial rhetoric and hatred. Strangely, a number of such individuals from that space showed up on Golden Goddess channel despite her racism. Excuse me? Gigi has just about every type of individual on a platform. Explain to me how she's a racist. Explain it to me. And that's the reason why he's been banned from the platform. I do not condone people making false claims of racism. Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's this. A lot of these people, they're getting too comfortable with talking about whatsoever. And all right, albeit, from the times that Al was on this stuff, I actually thought that he sounds like an educated individual, but at the same time, when that problem with him and Gigi actually happened, I was like, okay, what happened? Because me personally, I'm just your regular Joe Schmo at work, and most of the times my social media presence is only few. So I go and I check with something, but that's it.
Yeah. So, like I said before, I have no tolerance for anyone making false claims of racism. Okay. And then to finish it off, he puts on a list of people that people should avoid from their panels. Now, let me make this perfectly clear. If I'm not in favor of banning my ops, so to speak, on any sphere or what have you, who the hell is out to give that have that authority? Seriously.
Well, let's put it right this, all right? Al personally is going to be stuck in Hawaii, right? So he claims. So
Mhm.
the only thing is though is that if you don't like what Gigi has to say, I think he could do some of the following. Number one, he could actually go back to the States or whatever. Or number two, just eat a raw coconut with bare with his teeth. That's all I got to say. Because he lives in Hawaii. And he been living in Hawaii for so long, right? So in Hawaii is the most expensive place, right? And
Mhm.
technically, I could tell you that this person doesn't have a house. So if that person don't have a house, and he's talking about that he's freelancing whatever the heck he does, and you're staying in Hawaii, instead of trying to band and have a power trip, why don't you sit in a nice breeze and just marry a Japanese tourist? Maybe then you'll be all right. But until then, stop going around and trying to police other people's identity. It's getting to the point that with his statements and everything, he sounds like a Hispanotype.
Yeah. Well, look, it's just that, like I said before, I just found it, like I said, I was hesitant to address the issue, but I felt that it had to be addressed. And if people take pot shots at me for expressing my point of view, oh well, that's all I got to say. But let us go back to the topic. which is has the transgender gone too far? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can share a video clip that was posted on TikTok. And no, believe it or not, this is an individual that's actually advocating transgender women to arm themselves in case people prevent them from using the ladies' room.
I mean, okay, and to me is this: if this person is advocating for trans women to arm themselves, he's not actually talking about another standpoint which is actually happening, and certain people are not actually gonna go and put their investigative services into it. Don Jose, I don't know if it's been between 2020 and 2023, but then, and I'm just saying this as respect to the communities, like between 2020 and 2023, and I'm not doing this off of stats or anything like that. I'm just basing this on stuff that I heard. There's been a lot of murders of transgendered people. So I'm just so while this person is advocating for them to get strapped up for 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 a minor for a minor thing in the bathroom, that person should actually use their strength. Like, okay, if people in your community are getting murdered and or unalived, and they're found with and their heads are disappearing. One thing I gotta say is, why don't you go and tell your why does that person go and tell their community to go and to defend themselves instead of a minor gaffe about a bathroom? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to share this video clip, and believe me, I didn't. I'm surprised that people actually dare to do advocate this kind of stuff. But it's just that unfortunately, some people go to the extreme. So let's see if I can share it. Just give me a moment. I sometimes it takes a little bit of time.
To become a dangerous animal. Hill of yours, so if you want to die on that hill of yours of righteousness and moral majority, then you go right ahead. I dare you to a women. It will be the last mistake you ever make. I dare you to try a transgender woman in my presence from using the bathroom. It will be the last mistake you ever make. This is a call to action and a call to arms to everybody within the United States that are scared, worried, have children that are transgender. It's a call to action. You need to want, plain and simple, go out, buy a gun, learn how to use it efficiently, through and through, because the time to act is now.
I'm talking. Bro, where you gonna put the strap at? Don't put the gun in. On your mini skirt? Shut up, bro.
Okay.
That was it.
No, it's more. That was it.
Have you ever thought about redoing your picture? Like how they where you have a nice haircut, your mustache is trimmed, you're more presentable.
Okay, I'm alive.
All
So,
right, shout out to the other
Don
guy.
Armando, your thoughts?
I mean, that guy, me personally, is this. I mean, he wants to go and advocate for people to say, "Oh, we're gonna get guns or whatever." All right, so let's just say theoretically, right? That guy was a victim of the gun, right? But we're not talking about the gun that everybody think that we're talking about. We're just and I'm just putting it out there. Imagine a guy who works out and everything like that, and he has guns, right? I'm saying as far as his arm. So that guy, he wants to advocate for people to use guns just so they could prevent or gaff in the bathroom. But 9 times out of 10, he could be a victim of a strong man with guns punching him in the face. So at the end of the day, he could actually be a victim of a gun or a man with guns, the size of arms. You get what I'm trying to say? So
Mhm.
while he's actually advocating and everything like that, he has to be careful of what he's actually promoting because in certain states, certain people they got the strap too. They're like, "Oh, I'm going to do this." You might get shot as well. So guess what? If you don't have any combat training or live fire training or whatever the case may be, you go around threatening people with the gun and everything like that, you might end up the victim, or somebody just might go take the gun and shoot you. So therefore, you can tell that that thing or person doesn't know what they're saying.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, again,
Why
let
you?
me
Why
make
the
this.
heck?
Go ahead.
Why the heck you talking about guns out of all places to go around and say we need to go around and have guns? You think you got that much rights? At the end of the day, if you go around and act out on it, y'all might just lose your rights in certain states. I'm like, come on. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to tell you that your people went up and y'all had all the rights, but now you want to go around and advocate something which is very absurd that can make you lose your rights 5 or 10 years down the line. I'm like, I just don't get it. Are they just that stupid?
And let me tell you something. In some states, they have to call stand your ground, which means like if anyone comes with you with a gun, and if you're in a state when you have stand your ground laws, you have the right to shoot that person. Now, unless now, Gigi, I think you live in Florida, and I think Florida is a stand your ground state. Am I correct? If I'm wrong or right, please enter the comment in the chat. I mean, look, and again, let me make this perfectly clear. Not all of the transgender individuals, okay, are like this individual, okay? Okay. Well, and this is my point. Okay. If you have not fully transitioned from one sex to another sex, you should not be going into the ladies' room if you have not transitioned completely um, to a female. There should be a separate individual, a bathroom for these individuals, um, if they need to do their business, or do they make sure they do their business before they leave. Okay. And again, if people, people can say what they want to say about me. Okay. The last time I checked, just like this individual had a right to express um, a point of view, I also have the same right as well. And the fact of the matter is, we do need to protect children from predators. Okay, we do need to protect ladies from those that will try to harm them. Okay, so I would rather side error in the side of caution and be foolish, and then God forbid uh, a child is assaulted, or a lady is assaulted by a so-called individual who decided pose herself as a female while the person is completely male. I am sorry. Hate me if that is the case. Donna, Amanda, your thoughts? I think what happened is, there's some music in the background. So therefore, what he does is he mutes himself. So therefore, the other, no, the other platform creators do not receive a strike. Uh, but look, maybe some. Okay. Um, Maybe there are people who disagree with what we say. Okay. Maybe some of you think that we don't know what we're talking about. That's fine. You have every right to express your point of view. You have every right to come on a panel and share your thoughts. If you think that what we're saying is totally garbage, it is my belief that if you want to have surgery and alter who you are to the extent that you go from one sex to another sex, that's perfectly fine. However, your rights end when you impose your views down our throats. Okay, that is a fact. Yes, yes. And I see here we have another guest, so I'm just gonna bring. Okay, just give me a moment. Okay. Good evening, Keisha. Oops. Let's try again.
Hi, good evening.
Mm,
Hey, I'm back.
okay. Good evening, Keisha.
Hi, good evening, guys. How are you?
Fine.
We
Oh,
good.
okay. Before I continue, let me just let everybody know that Golden Goddess, Don Armando, and Keisha have their own platforms. So I'm going to ask that if you have not done so, please subscribe to their channels and support their content. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Keisha. What are your thoughts on the subject?
No problem. I'm gonna be really brief. I'm about to eat dinner and everything, but I love the conversation you guys are having regarding the whole transgender community. So I agree with your last comment you just said regarding the whole bathroom situation with little children. And I think that sometimes the transgender community definitely do be going far as, being extra dramatic for no reason, as far as being more extra than the average woman or being more extra than the average man. I feel like they really put a lot of emphasis on, every little detail, and it's not really realistic. And honestly speaking, at the same token, I feel like, some of the LGTB plus community are like some of the coolest people at the same time. And I don't really want to offend anybody with anything I'm saying. But to be honest, I think as far as jail cells, bathrooms, those places where gender identity and, that concrete, distinguishing between male and female, I feel like, I don't think it's right for them to be able to have their identity change on like a driver's license from like male to female if you're not fully transitioned, like you said, with the whole counterparts down there fixed up. I think, is really like a bigger agenda behind the whole situation. And I just feel like sometimes, just like Don Armando said earlier in the stream, like where is black people's, pathway and waves to this, as far as hate crimes, everything is like a hate crime when it comes to this specific group on such a high level that things are happening so fast. Bills are being made, amendments are being made, laws, rules, regulations, back like all these changes are happening so fast for this group, but it is not that same energy with Black and Latinos and Black and Brown community people. And I think that's definitely not right. But at the same time, if I was born a person who felt like I didn't want to be a woman and I wanted to be a man, I would hope that my community and people would respect me and I wouldn't be a target. But what we see today, it seems like that can be anybody's situation. Anyone can be a target. But that's all I have to say. But thank you so much for letting me say that.
Anytime, Kaicho.
You know, you're quite welcome. But like I said before, now, you know, while I disagree with transgender people, thank you very much for stopping by. While I disagree with them, every individual has a right to live their life as they see fit. Okay?
Right.
Everyone, okay? And the fact of the matter is, okay, um, again, your rights, your individual rights end when they are being imposed on us. Okay, and the fact of the matter is this: children 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old, do not need to be exposed to that sort of stuff. They don't. I mean, children are impressionable. Okay. Um, Now there is an age where they need to be exposed to that sort of thing in the teenage years. At least that way, the teenage years, the children, well, the adolescents, they are more in a position to deal with the information and not be overly affected by it. Okay. And Gigi made an interesting point. A lot of trans people are bisexual, and people don't realize that. You know, I don't know if I would go there, but your thoughts, Don Armando.
All right. I saw something which was which I, forgive me for saying this, which I thought was very weird. When I was working at a survey place, right, there was a transgender person that you would thought that was a woman, but it wasn't. Had all the enhancements or whatever. And there was a woman who dressed like a boy. So when the transgendered woman and the butch started kissing and being in a relationship, even people who identified as gay was like WTF. So so people started to wonder, like even though that this guy's transgender and the woman dressed like a butch, would that qualify as a straight relationship, or just people just switching clothes for switching clothes? That's
Hmm.
what's very confusing. So it's a good point that what Gigi actually brought.
Yeah. Gigi, I don't know if you're able to join the panel. If you are, you're more than welcome. If you're not, I understand because sometimes it may not be all that possible. But like I said, the whole point is not to bash transgender people, but in every community, you have extremists. Okay, in our community, you have extremists who are Latino. You have extremists who are black. You have extremists who are mixed and what have you. You also have extremists in the LGBTQ plus community. Okay, and let me make this perfectly clear. Not all transgender women are like this individual. Okay, you know what? I understand, Gigi. Like I said, in any case, you're more than welcome whenever you are able to join the panel. Just want to let you know that uh, here, this is a safe space for you, and you're not going to be excommunicated by me. Okay. And right now, we're just waiting for uh, whatever music and Don Lamando's side to subside in order uh, for him to share his point of view. Okay. And like I said before, I mean, to be perfectly honest, we do get a great deal of training at my job regarding this topic. And usually that's under the guise of diversity. I'm not really taking shots early. What I'm just doing is look, I'm just um, showing my love and support for another YouTube creator who happens to be a member of the uncommon folk, just like uh, you, Irving, and a lot of people who have. Okay, and I know people are sick and tired of me saying the same thing. If you're cool with me, I'm cool with you. And also, I do not turn on my friends. And one thing I would not tolerate is anyone trying to make cheap shots, okay, and thinking that they're going to be granted the privilege and the blessing to be on my platform. I'm sorry, that's not going to happen, okay? And unlike Al, I'm not putting this stream in private, okay? Because I stand behind my remarks, the good, the bad, the ugly. When I say something positive, I stand behind it. When I say something negative, I take responsibility and I stand behind it. If I have to apologize, I will do so and take accountability for my actions. I am not going to be this cowardly person that will make false accusations and whatnot behind a computer. It is tacky. It is cheap. It is a cheap shot. And look, that's why. Okay. And again, if you do not like my content, you're not obligated to do so. And what I'm going to ask people to do is, please feel free to share this content, okay? Because I want other people to be aware. And the whole purpose is not to transgendered, but to have an understanding that unfortunately they are, you know, who no, I like to state my mind. And I see Keisha has an interesting point of view. He said, I like to dress like a dude. Trust me. Yeah. Well, you know what, Keisha, you have the right to dress whatever manner that you wish. Okay. Okay. And let me make this perfectly clear. If I was in a romantic relationship with you, I would not be dictating what you wear. Okay. I might make a suggestion here and there, but that's it. I am not going to be the clothing police. I am also not going to be the content police. Okay. Everybody conducts their platform as they see fit. Everyone says whatever the bleep they want. Okay. One thing that, and I think at this point people do know and understand is the following. Okay, I don't censor people here. Okay, believe me, I don't censor people here. All I okay, and let's see what. Okay, 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 that's perfectly fine. Now, as I stated before, um, people can say whatever they want here. They can they can curse like a sailor. That's fine. All I ask is please be respectful. That's all. And the reason behind that is this: if I want people to accept me for who I am, I have to do the same. And the fact of the matter is, I am blessed to know a whole bunch of people on these YouTube streets, and all of them are unique in their own special way. Okay, some of them are very outspoken, and quite a few of them are not shy with what they say. Okay, which is perfectly fine. Okay, um, hopefully, okay, um, Don Armando can mute himself. Okay.
Yeah, it's like I agree, and I try to run my platform the same way, and I'm just trying to at least try to run my platform because I'm trying to experiment with certain things, not from just the open topic, but I'm trying to experiment into reaching out to my Dominican brothers. So therefore, I could try to make a platform. So therefore, they could actually get more pull or what sort or whatever have you in their own personal space or whatever. So I'm trying to make my own spaces into like an educational and to promoting positivity type thing because we're actually living in a world where a lot of people are feeding off of negativity and ignorance. So therefore,
Yeah.
if I try to bring my space into like a learning curve or whatever, that way I can learn also. So therefore, we could all trade knowledge.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, excuse me. When I finally decided to come up with my platform, of course, one of the things I needed to do was to find my niche. Everyone has a niche. The Radical Latinos niche is dealing with Black and Brown unity and dealing with white supremacy. Uh, Denise's niche, it was going to business, then goes into politics, then it goes into other things. But Denise is very well versed in what she talks about. Um, Gigi and Multi they have their own mixes, okay, and they deal with multiracial people. Keisha has her niche. You have her niche. I have my niche. My niche happens to be that dealing with everyday issues and trying to come up with logical solutions because no one was addressing it other than myself on a consistent basis. So, of course, I'm going to have different topics. Some of them are going to be popular, some of them are going to be not so popular, but it's hit and miss. Your point of view, Don Armando. Okay, and I think we just
I'm not coming home today because I got to work virtually tomorrow.
okay.
So,
Be safe.
Right.
Okay, so it looks like we lost Don Armando. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the link again. Okay. Now I'm gonna see if I think I have one more thing that I can share. I can read because sometimes my computer acts up. Just give me a moment. Now I came across an article from a website called Decision, and it was written on. Okay, and we got him back. Just give me a moment. Okay, Don Armando, can you speak?
All right, now I can. What I was trying
Okay.
to say is that with everything and everybody that has their point of view, we're all going to have different point of views. So therefore, we have to respect our individuality. As long as your point of view is not ignorant or trying to bash or prohibit the rights of other individuals just because of a personal feeling or something.
Yeah.
So that's where I draw the line. If you're trying to be against somebody just because of their race or creed or whatever have you, and you all have a prejudice just because of maybe of what your parents or your personal situations or whatever clouds a person's judgment and rationale in thinking. One thing I gotta say is that within these YouTube streets, we all know my history, and I've caught hell for just declaring my truth. So why would I go and basically try to hate on a person and do all of this stuff just because they have a different point? And then my platform is welcome to anybody as long as you come with respect. And the only people that I've had blocked it was uh, Stalking X and various other people that just come into a platform just to talk disrespectfully, and I don't allow that.
Hmm. Well, the same thing applies here, and unfortunately, the same people that I have to ban permanently on my platform um, for various reasons. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what, Irby? When about okay, what happened with the Brad? Okay, I've heard about her, but what happened?
Well, she's pregnant,
Okay.
and I guess that she was saying that she and her mother because I guess she declared herself as being a lesbian a few years ago or so, even though it's not really official, but I guess she's in a lesbian relationship. So she's pregnant, and she was saying that she and her significant other, they did not get the black donors because
Mhm. Okay, well, first of all, if the bread is pregnant, I guess congratulations are in order. It's just that, of course, the issue is, as always, what was her circumstances behind it. Okay, uh, yeah, I kind of feel the same way. To be perfectly honest, the last time I heard about the brat, um, was I think maybe 15 years ago. Um, in fact, unless I think she was some sort of TV series on VHS regarding celebrities who try um, to lose weight. And as far as choosing a donor, I mean, okay, everybody has a right to conduct themselves, their affairs as they say fit, as long as they're consenting adults.
yeah,
And
I
yeah,
totally agree with that.
yeah. Look, when everything is said and done, look, I got more important things to be worrying about. Making sure that I pay my bills, making sure I get to my job, making sure I get home safe. The last thing I need to worrying about is whether the bread is pregnant and how she got pregnant and under what circumstances. Okay, that's not my freaking business. And I'm sorry if people don't like me saying that. Too bad. Too bad. But like I said, I think that's the last time I have ever heard of the brat was I think 15 to 20 years ago. Um, do you recall this program on VHS where you have these celebrities that get on the show to try to lose weight?
Yes, I remember. But
Okay.
but I have to correct you on something. Don't Jose.
Okay.
It's not VHS. It's VH1.
Okay. VH1. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. I just showed my age, so okay. But you know what? But look, the fact of the matter is this: that's the last time I heard of the brat was VH1 when they got on this TV series where people try to lose weight.
yeah, yeah. And that was, I think, I'm not sure, but I think it was another rapper by the name of Bone Crusher that he was in that show also, if I do recall.
Yes. Yeah. And look, and let me tell you something. What consenting adults do, that's totally up to them. Okay. As long as they're consenting adults, and as long as they have their mental faculties, if okay, they can do whatever they want. They can pretend that they're dogs. They can pretend that they're cats. They can fall in love with bushes for all I care. It's just that I got more important things to worry about. Okay, and I think everybody else have other things to be concerned about as well. Would you agree, Don Armando? Okay, I guess he's muted because there's music playing through in the background. Okay.
I totally agree.
Yeah. Oh boy.
That they were dragging
Yeah.
her. But
Yeah.
okay, not for nothing. Is it yeah, there was it's like everybody they were dragging they're always trying to drag Lisa Ray because of something or whatever because I guess that since her sister Lisa Ray was married to that guy from the Turks and Caicos or whatever, and then they divorced because he was
Hmm.
cheating. You have a lot of people who are, I guess, even in that country, are still bitter about her or her marriage or whatever the case may be. And somehow, somewhere, they're just trying to give
Hmm.
her bad publicity.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
Hmm.
I understand. I understand. Don Armando, when you gonna be doing another stream?
I don't, well, I'm going to try to do another stream on Friday tomorrow, but the thing is, though, I'm trying to get my contact from the Dominican Republic to do so. So I'm actually talking about that right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, um, actually, I'm thinking about what I'm gonna be doing as far as next week. Um, I'm gonna be doing 3 streams. Um,
Hmm.
I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do something a little different. Um, one stream will be talking about the Karens, and we all know who they are. Okay, I mean, we have seen a lot of videos on TikTok regarding Karens, so we're gonna have that discussion regarding that. Um, when I'm gonna do it, I'm not too sure. And I think what I'm gonna do is have another stream regarding funny moments on my platform because believe it or not, there's been a lot of funny moments. So it basically it's going to be an opportunity for us to laugh. In fact, I think I will do that on Monday at 9 o'clock. Um, I know for some people it's a little bit late, but hopefully, you know, some of members of the oncoming folk can come in and share some of the funnier moments because there is some other funny moments that appear. In fact, I remember um, when I was doing my stream regarding depression part one. Okay, there was a situation where my computer began to talk for itself. So that kind of created a humorous side, and also there were some funny moments from the last stream that Denise actually got on regarding where the baby boomers got it wrong. So I'm gonna be doing that on Monday. More humorous moments on uncommon sense. So hopefully some of the uncommon folk will make their presence felt on the panel loud. Yes. Okay. Now, what I'm going to be doing on Friday, uh, I'm going to be doing my shout out to the moms, and we just lost Donna Mondo again. Okay. Um, because, and the reason why I'm doing that is to honor all the moms, all the biological moms, the foster moms, the adopted moms, because um, they perform, you know, a lot, and they sacrifice a lot. Welcome back, Don Armando.
Yeah, more like well, more like I have to do my endeavors and stuff. But it was a pleasure that you let me on your panel, Don Jose,
Mhm.
and hopefully I'll try to see what my stream is like tomorrow. So therefore, you could chime in after I interview that person that I've been wanting to interview for a long time. So
Okay.
with that said, good night, everybody, and Don Jose. It was a pleasure talking with you.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking with you. Please be safe.
You too.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is just give me a moment. I think there was one more thing that I was going to share. Uh, just give me a moment. So I'm just going to share with you an article um, that I read, and it's based on the study. American voters believe the transgender movement has gone too far. A new poll says that 75% of likely voters who have an opinion on the issue believe the transgender movement has gone too far by encouraging underage minors to use drugs and surgery to transition to the opposite sex. Americans disagree on many issues, but they are united in saying the transgender movement has gone too far, says Jeff Myers, president of Summit.org, which conducted a study with McLaughlin and Associates. Voters overwhelmingly suspect that social media and medical industry are exploiting children for self-serving financial gain, according to the survey. The burning question is why so many people silent if they believe the transgender movement is harming kids. Why said, what would take Americans to overcome the temptation to say, enough's enough? The national survey, which polled 1,000 likely general election voters, were conducted from October the 12th to the 17th, and results were released earlier. All interviews were conducted online. Surveys invitations were distributed randomly within predetermined geographic groups. These units were structured to correlate with actual voter turnout in the general election. The voter profile consisted of 36% Republican voters, 37% Democrats, and 27% independents or unaffiliated voters. The results discussed below include only those, excuse me, just give me, okay, just, the results discussed below include only those where opinion questions asked, while those indicated that were unsure or don't know were excluded. Just give me a moment. So, okay, voters overwhelmingly suspect that social media and the medical industry are exploiting children for their self financial gain, according to the survey. The burning question is why so many people are starting to believe that. Okay, I'm sorry. Just give me a moment. Other key insights include the certain. Excuse me. Okay. Well, you know what? I'm okay. I'm just gonna end it here. But it's suffice to say, but it is suffice to say that there are people who do believe that this generation, that these individuals have gone too far. Now, as I stated before, and I'm going to state it again, um, everyone has the right to do what they wish with their own personal body. If they wish to alter their anatomy, that's perfectly fine. Well, however, it is an issue when they try to enforce their views on others. And you know, it's just that it's just unfortunate. Okay, well, good night, Irby. Thank you very much for stopping by. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop to wrap this up in a few minutes. But let me just like I said before, I'm going to be doing 3 streams: one Monday, one Friday. Excuse me. I'm just having a losing my train of thought. But the fact of the matter is, excuse me. The fact of the matter is, I decided to have this discussion. I just want to first of all thank all those who appeared on the chat: Gigi, Don Armando, Irby, Keisha, okay, and everybody else. I also want to give a huge shout out to Don Armando for being on the panel. So what I'm going to ask, please share the stream. Share the stream with everybody, okay? And before I go, I just want to say one more thing, okay? Which is the following. Don't try to police other people's platforms. Don't try to police what other people say or do. And on that note, I just want to say thank you very much. And this has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. And I just want to say take care and peace.
Strong.